Dozens of games this entire weekend, and we have come down to the final one. It's the Men's A Championship of the USA Ball Hockey Club Championship here at the Island Sports Center as the Garden State Indians take on the Leominster Americans here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. Alongside of me, Angelo Esposito. I'm Spencer Witt. Angelo, we saw a really good winner in the final, the B Championship, the Pittsburgh Purple Power winning that one. And we saw a really good one for Garden State. They won in overtime themselves. Should be a good one here.
Definitely. Very back and forth games. Both games that have been playing between the Indians and the Arsenal, and the B Championship between the Purple Power and the Militia. We'll see what this game has between the Americans and the Indians, and see if the Indians can pick up their game a little bit, playing against the Arsenal to now the Leominster Americans.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here of the Indians game earlier this afternoon. It was the Indians who got out to the early lead for the Indians. Steve Sion was the one who scored first, but then Arsenal was able to respond. This is the goals, or excuse me, that was Clifford who had really good saves for Arsenal. And Arsenal was able to respond themselves. They got 2 goals in the second period, but then it was Dom Tussey who had tied things up for the Garden State Indians with 38 seconds remaining in the third. They had pulled their goalie. That was, you see, the second goal there for Arsenal. Actually, the first goal, I should say. This is the second goal there for Arsenal to get themselves the lead.
It was really a back and forth chance game between both these teams, and I mean, in the end, I mean, look at the highlights. I mean, the Indians had all these chances, and with this goal right here coming up, that was the game-tying goal with 39 seconds left in the third period to send it to overtime.
Just trickles in for Dom Tussey, and then the winner, of course, Leonardo Impagliazzo, who had scored it for the Indians in the game winner. This one went late into overtime as well. The Indians went into overtime in the game prior, and they win it right there. Impagliazzo, the diving over.
Off the post, back right to him, into the back of the net. And the Indians are now in the championship game.
Real quick, we'll talk about Leominster real quick and their route to the finals. They defeated the Brampton Midnight Express, the reigning champions in the A side, 5-3. They were down 3-1, actually tied it up 3-3 with 2 goals under a minute, and then they just went away from there. 4 straight goals unanswered from the Leominster Americans in that one to give themselves the victory. They also defeated the Pittsburgh Gods 4-1 earlier this morning as well. And that was the difference for the team from Leominster, Massachusetts in Worcester County, just outside of Boston. So both these teams looking to go back to the Northeast with a championship. And it was Brampton who was last year's champion. So we'll have a new champion this year in the Club Ball Hockey Championships here at the Island Sports Center complex. We'll step aside real quick. When we come back, we'll have the opening face-off of the championship game between the Garden State Indians and Leominster Americans here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Back here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Moments away from the championship and the A level for the USA Ball Hockey Club Championship. Garden State Indians and Leominster Americans. Indians in their white jerseys. You see on the near side of your screen. You take a look. There is number 11, Steve Sion for Garden State, who broke his nose 2 games ago. That was the broken nose right there. Actually, this is a good replay by our crew to catch that one. Was bloody on the floor, but able to come back, score a goal. He scored the first goal in this one. He's got the cage on now. Took a shot there too, even more. Oh, extracurriculars after even having broken his nose. We talked to him in between games and asked him how he feels, how he's all right. He says, I got 1 more game left. We'll worry about that tomorrow. So Zion and the rest of his squad trying to get themselves a championship. Go back to New Jersey with a championship and then worry about, you're going to feel it in the morning on Monday, but that Monday is Monday. Today is Sunday. And what's most important right now is this final game. And he's taking a look at the netminder for the Americans. That's number 33. Gianni San Rocco for the Americans. And San Rocco, the netminder. Other side for the Indians, it's 72. Robbie Mangini. We're underway here. Opening faceoff between the sides. Luke Malloy, and he sends it forward for the Garden State Indians. That goes all the way down. It'll be icing to start things.
Going to be interesting to see how both teams play within their game and see if the Indians can continue their game getting in the greasy spots around the net. And for the Americans, see what they can do and continue their offensive pressure.
Yeah, they're more of a physical team, the Americans, at least compared to the Indians, but a high-scoring team, of course, scored 4 goals in the semifinal and 5 goals in the quarterfinal to get themselves here as well. But the Americans in their, I kind of like to call them, Quebec Nordiques colors, that light baby blue and the red. They're very, very nice colors. The white shorts, could be like Atlanta Braves, where the throwback Atlanta Braves colors too. But got the big A on their shorts as well. As behind the net here, trying to throw it in front. No goal. That one hits the post, and it's covered up by Mangini. How did that not go in?
Wow.
97, I believe, for the Americans was the one who took that one. Eric Walker, another look at it here, right behind the net, and they found him, Walker, for the feed, and he just is not able to finish.
Great save by him right there. Mangini, wow.
I don't even know if Mangini might have saved it. I think it hit off the post and bounced towards him, though, too. Good find to feed for Walker, but still scoreless here early on in this first period. Oh, big hit underneath here. In the boards, in the corner. And a little more extracurriculars. They're going to call that one. And I believe it's going to be an interference call. Yes, it will be. As Mangini has to play it. As he was trying to hustle his way to the bench for the extra attacker. But instead, it went right back to him and he had to play it. And we're going to have an interference call against the Americans. It's going to be on 21.
Drake Manning Almeida.
So
going to the box for a minute 30.
Drake Manning Almeida in the box. Another look at it here. You see, this is fine. I think they kind of let that one happen, but, or excuse me, it was the extracurriculars a little earlier on.
Yeah.
That there was an extra push. There was a couple of back and forths, and then he pushed again far away from the ball, and that was the reason they called that penalty.
See what this Garden State Indians power play can do.
That one sent over on a cross crease pass. It was sent towards the net. Couldn't find any part of that net, though. Back out to the point. Again, this is ball hockey rules, so one thing to note, if you're new to ball hockey here, thank you for tuning in here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh and on the USA Ball Hockey YouTube channel. One of the rules about zones is that when you get the blue line, of course, an offsides in like NHL is, getting to the blue line is that shot, making the save there was San Rocco. You get to the blue line, you have possession, you're in the zone now. but the zone then expands back out to the red line, so you kind of have a little more room to work with in this smaller rink here.
It gives more, especially for the power play units, it gives them a more chance to work it around, cycle it around, survey their options and see what they can do. Just like how the Indians are right now.
Still a power play for the Indians, 55 seconds remaining in that one. As at the point, scan their options to the left side, the shot's taken there. A minute 30 on the power play was the official time of power plays. Dom Tussey, who scored the game winner, or scored the game tire, I should say, for the Indians in the semifinals against the Penn Hills Arsenal, as this one will go past the intended target and back down. We're 20 seconds remaining on the penalty.
Great coverage by the Americans, not having the Indians set up in their zone, with the Indians trying to work it around, see what they can do here.
Cody Hollinsworth sends it down for the Indians. He's battling with a player for the Americans. That's Mike DeFazio. Final seconds of that one, and it's back to even strength on the penalty. And we got a stoppage here. And we'll have a face-off to the left side of San Rocco for the Americans. Face-off here for the Americans. And they send it all the way down. No icing on this one. Back near the net, so they have to drop it back off. And now chipped in by the Americans. It's 91, Cam Cordio, and he sends it across. No one home there. Looking right in front of that net there, and it's going to be offsides. Against the Indians, here at Neville Island, Armu Island Sports Center. Home of a lot of deck, roller, ice hockey throughout. You can see the blood on the jersey there for number 11. That's Steve Sion. Sion's got blood on his jersey, but the battle scars here that will come out with a little bit of OxyClean once he puts that one in the wash, probably tomorrow. And they cycle it back down underneath. The Americans do after winning the faceoff. Chipped up the boards. Dunk back into the other corner. The Indians with it. Fighting around. Looking in the front for the slot. There was a player that intended, though.
There.
Player intended blocked it.
No call there on that play there.
And possession continues in the offensive zone for the Indians. Off the wall, good play to get some space here. Cutting across, no one home, and the Americans first one to get to it. And they're gonna wave the icing off.
Not enough for icing there.
Cycle back down anyway though, and Garden State will move forward with it. Jake Miller. Miller's shot deflected away by the netminder, San Rocco.
Indians continuing the pressure against the Americans. Let's see if they can continue this pressure, or if the Americans can try and get some pressure of their own down into the Indian zone.
Zach Warner-Sini with it. Warner-Sini looks around, has a defender on him. Up top, just kind of throwing it as far down low as they can in the shot. That shot in front, bouncing around. Good defense, getting it out though. That was 32 for the Indians, Jared Maska. Warner-Sini still with it. Back up top. deflected. And a good stop there by 28 for the Americans. Craig Steedle just to get to it. It would have been almost a breakaway. Now we got this one into the corner, where Connor Callahan will have it for the Indians. Callahan scans his options, got a guy right off the bench. The shot there. Warner Sini gets a piece of it.
Good block by Sini there.
Now we've got our own breakout here. Trying to push that one towards the goal. Player lost his stick, and it was for the Indians. That was Brett Holman on the shot there for the Americans.
3-on-2 coming the other way.
Drop pass, and a nice one at that. Shot taken, that one cleared out though. Mangini got a piece of it, but it started trickling towards the net until his defender helps him out.
Amazing clear by Alec Myers there. Right on the goal line was that ball, and he cleared it out for his goaltender. Stay tied at 0.
Flicked all the way forward, no icing on this one as well. Americans are doing a really good job dumping the puck down without having icing. And they get it back. Running into his own teammate, but he's able to move forward with it. Is number 8, Ryan Casalvo. Casalvo goes down.
Good sliding play by Gavin Ambrose there, taking that passing lane away.
They send it forward. Drop pass and looking for some options, looking for some help. Sent over to the far side. That drive, no good. It was deflected off San Rocco. Gavin Ambrose sends it forward. Ambrose will wait to figure out if he wants to go get to it. And he tries to, but it goes past him, and it will be back down the rink.
Very close, not too many chances in this first period so far.
Oh, a giveaway there behind the net. Shot
Wow.
taken, they score! It's the Americans who strike first. J.D. Dutney, 1-0 Americans.
And just as I spoke, a goal has happened. What a shot, what a rip by the Americans right there. Wow.
The announcer's jinx gets you there.
Turnover there by the Indians, ripped it right past Mangini there.
A nice shot from J.D. Dutney for the Americans. Shot goes off the net and stays up there, so it will be a stoppage of play. One thing I mentioned to note, again, if hits the netting here in the rink, play does not die immediately. A lot of times, you know, in NHL, if it hits the netting, it just stops, but if it can drop down and hit the ground, play's still live. So we got a face-off here in the American zone. Won by the Americans, and then pass forward. Nice move to get around a defender. Goaltender poke check, though, from Mangini. Drake Manning Almeida, who had taken that penalty earlier. A nice play from him, looking for the backdoor tap in. Could not find a teammate, though, for the Indians. Cycled around the boards. That one thrown in front, they score! Just thrown in front, there was a guy there. I don't know if he had gotten it for the Indians for number 22, Riley Rudolph, but regardless, it's in the back of the net in a tie ball game.
Great little play by the Indians there, getting it to the front of the net. Quick little shot into the crease of Andrew Carter's and shot into the back of the net by the Indians player. And it's tied up at 1.
Tied up at 1, I believe. It was 91 with the assist. I believe Mike Henry was the one who got the assist there.
And that goal, 22, Riley Rudolph with the goal there for the Indians.
So they are going to give credit to Rudolph. Shot taken, and it's collected.
Oh, pardon me, I read that wrong. Jared Maska with the goal
And so Jared Maska is the one with the goal. Yeah, I thought it was 22 as well.
Okay. Yeah. Look, it looked like 22 to me, but couldn't tell. Either way, tied up at 1.
No goal there, no goal. There is a goal for the Americans. They respond quickly. It's 97. Eric Walker.
Wow, wow, wow. Just take a look at this save by Mangini. The stick save, but unfortunately could not get the rebound.
Yeah, just a follow-up there from that rebound. Nice pass over from Cam Cordio. And Mangini made the first save, but could not make the second. So the Americans responding with the goal. And now we got almost an opportunity there for the Indians. They're able to move it forward, though. No icing called.
Play has picked up this second half of this first period with just under 40 seconds left. Indians carry it in. Let's see what they can do.
Indians carrying it in, and a lot of physical activity over there in the corner. Muscling a player off of it. Indians still with it, looking in front, trying to throw it to a teammate, bouncing around, and then sent out by the Americans.
Couple of good saves by Andrew Carter there, keeping it out of his net.
Sliding over. And the Americans still with it. Zach Warner-Sini, and it's going to be the end of the first period. So 2 goals for the Americans and the Indians. It's a 2-1 difference right now. We'll step aside. 1 period of play here in this one. It's been a close one for the men's A-level ball hockey championships here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Back here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh, 2-1 in favor of the Americans after 1 period of play. J.D. Dutney scored the first goal for the Americans, and Eric Walker scoring the second one to make it a 2-1 difference. For the Americans, the Indians getting their goal from Jared Maska. Well, actually, I should say it was 22 Riley Rudolph who was in front there, although it was announced as Jared Maska. And so that's where we're at now, 2-1 in favor of the Americans. We're underway here for period number 2 here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. As the Americans now with offensive possession here. That one thrown towards the net where goaltender makes the save. Bobby Mangini. Luke Malloy with it now for the Indians. And sent forward, flicked into the air. Trying to drop that one off. Defender was there, though, for the Americans. Still in possession, though, for Garden State. Ben Tolman was the one who got there, and he's going to try and get to that one too. Can't do so.
Good keep by the Indians there.
The Indians still with it. Leonardo
To the
Impagliazzo, and it's in the crease and covered up. Impagliazzo was the one who had scored the game winner in the semifinals over the Penn Hills Arsenal. So face-off. Let's take a look at Andrew Carter, the netminder for the Americans. There's a shot taken, and Carter holds on to that one. And we'll redo it again to the left of Carter again. Sent all the way down. And back over for the Americans. The Americans throw it off the wall behind the net. Fredrickson behind the net for the Americans.
Trying to sneak it in on that post there.
He was looking for it, but Mancini, excuse me, was there.
What a save.
Another one from Mangini.
Wow.
Mangini goes flailing over to make the save. It's going to be an icing against the Americans. Excuse me, against the Indians, but what a save from Mangini. Another look at it here.
Beat the defender all the way around. Just think he got a piece of his glove on that.
I believe
Bring
you're
it
right.
all the way around. What a save by Mangini there.
Face-off one there by the Americans, and just trying to throw it in front, nobody home for them. That shot taken, Carter will slide it over. High stick, and they'll call the high stick against the Indians. 7:58 on the clock here. 2-1 Americans in period number 2. Have a face-off outside the zone, of course, for that high stick. Americans with it, cycling around the boards, and then flicked forward. The Indians take it up, throwing that one over towards Carter. Couldn't find that one towards him. Kind of looking more for a rebound off of a shot initially.
2-on-1, Sani.
Shot taken there, goes wide as driving in there with the Americans. And that one goes out of play. Zach Warner, Sani, like you said before, Angelo was the intended shot taker there, who just couldn't put that one on target.
Indians need to get back to their game, their grind game, cycling, getting it into those greasy spots around Andrew Carter's net. Let's see if they can do it coming up against these Americans.
Face-off won by the Americans, and Mangini makes a save. Into the air, a hand on that one. And rolled around where Matthew Alberts will have it. And then back up for Brett Holman.
Just missed.
And it's going to be an icing against the Indians. Garden State Indians out of New Jersey. A lot of different areas of New Jersey, they come together, play for this team, for the Indians. The Americans out of Leominster, Massachusetts, out of the Boston area. Worcester County, if you want to be specific. And the face-off one here by the Americans. They win a lot of face-offs, especially in the zone at Garden State. That one in front, and it was, I believe, Mangini got a piece of it regardless. Garden State tries to move it forward. Flicked all the way down. And it's going to be an icing, actually, against the Americans. So face-off will come over to the over the near side here, I should say, towards Andrew Carter.
The Americans have been shutting the Indians down so far, especially in this second period. The Indians really have been playing most of this period in their own end. Now they got to face off the icing down in the Americans' end. Let's see what they can do.
Face-off won by the Americans. And we'll get a stick high there for the Americans. That one in front looking for the trailing player, and now they'll have to retreat all the way back for Garden State. Good deflection there from the Americans. That was number 2, Matthew Albert, but back down for Garden State. Mike Malloy with it. And Luke Malloy now. Throwing that one into the corner. The Americans. Nathan Zavola. And they'll fight with it. Now possession for Garden State. Only momentarily, Nathan Zavola back with it for the Americans. He's got some speed, he's got a teammate, J.D. Dutney. Dutney scored the first goal. Throws that one in front. Still with it though, Dutney looking for the wraparound. The backhand, no, he turns with the forehand and it goes into the netting and it will stop play with 5:34 remaining here in the second period on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Good chance by the Americans here. Dutney swinging it on net, bringing it around once again, swinging it again. Right after that, went up into the netting, out of play.
So 2-1 victory, or 2-1 lead, excuse me, for the Americans. And just mentioning on the PA system, we talk about ball hockey and how important this championship is, the National Club Championships. 9 players currently between both of these teams will be USA members as Mangini makes a save and it rolls a wide, will be members of the national team and the World Ball Hockey Championships in the Czech Republic.
Great defensive play by Sani on that last play, keeping the Indians from getting into their zone.
Tussey with it, Tussey with a shot. Extra effort on the second bounce, and it goes wide. I don't know if Carter got a piece of it, but
it sure looked like it, but couldn't tell from our vantage point. Sprawling out.
What a pass by Tussey. Another look here. This is the initial shots that Mangini had, or Mangini make the save for, and then this is the Indians' response.
I think Carter got a stick on that up against the post there. Great save by him there.
Face-off one and then sent high into the air by Ryan Consalvo for the Americans. Bounces around and behind the net now for the Americans. Ian Basilio bounces that one out of play off a stick from an American player. So it'll be a face-off in the zone. 4.5 remaining here in the second period.
The Indians are still trying to find their game. They're trying to dump it down, dump and chase, but the Americans have been shutting them down pretty good. And the Indians Got to find their game soon.
Pass lofted forward, looking for the home run pass. Couldn't get that one to connect.
Good shots by Hollingsworth there.
Good whack at that one from Carter, the netminder for the Americans. And they love sending this one in the air. They love the high passes from the Americans. Just get it out of the zone. And that one in hitting the rafters, though, and stopping play. Now look here, this was
a good play by Hollingsworth. This was a good chance by the Indians here. Probably one of their first chances in some time there. Almost got it past Carter there.
Almost got a break from the ref who was in the way. Obviously, you know, the ref's part of the game, though, but Hollingsworth kind of benefited him. As that one also hitting off the ref's feet on the face-off, and then Americans going back for it. Lifted into the air. Hand pass, played though by the Americans anyway, so it doesn't matter. Dragging, shot taken, it's underneath Mangini. Doesn't know where it's at, but it's underneath his blocker, and a stop made. As that ball spinning like a top.
Good shot there by Corey Fredrickson. Right here, look at this shot. Right into Mangini. Ball was a little loose, but ref blew the whistle already, and now we have a face-off in the Indian zone.
Yeah, that ball underneath of Mangini. I know it's technically loose in the sense that we could see it, and so could so could some of the Americans. Corey Fredrickson could see it as well, but underneath of him, not going to be able anything there, reason to stop the play. As we'll have another face-off here for the Indians and Americans. Bouncing around a couple times. Shot taken, deflected off a stick. Was going towards Mangini. One player slips for the Indians. And the Americans almost had a break there.
Mangini took that shot up high. Like you said, that got deflected. Had to reach up with his blocker and glove and save that.
Pass cross the crease on the one-timer. No good there. Just couldn't put that on target. Beautiful find, though, for the Americans. Shot taken there, goes wide. Extra effort on the rebound, rolls back out front, but stick can't get on it until the Indians get possession. They move it up. Shot taken, the save made by Carter. That one in front as well.
Kept in by the Indians here.
Shot off of a player in front for the Americans, Nathan Zavola, and the ball going into the netting and stopping there, getting caught. So we'll reset with 2:42 remaining here in period number 2 here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Very close game between both these teams, the Indians and the Americans, and not too many penalties being called. I think we've only had one penalty called so far going against the Americans, but the Indians could not capitalize on that power play.
So the Indians not able to capitalize on the power play, like you said. Still a 2-1 lead for the Americans. Is this one behind the net for the Indians?
This is the shift the Indians needed. They needed a shift like this. Cycle it down and keep it going.
Taken away, though, by the Americans. Nice passing here.
2-on-1.
Breakout opportunity, rebound off the save. First player to get to it is an Indian. And now back out for the Americans. Stopping and turning. Americans make a change. In front. Mangini got a piece of it, I think. Back out, fakes the shot. And back out top. Corey Fredrickson.
Great awareness by the Americans. They're making note of where each other are. making sure that they don't turn the ball over. They're cycling here.
Trying to drive in, and that one goes high. Good opportunity from Cam Cordio for the Americans.
He's looking to the skies. He can't believe he missed that. That drive into the net. Little stutter move. Round. He had Mangini beat. Just missed it right over the net and went into the netting.
I think he just lost his footing too, which is what killed him in that attempt. And that shot, I believe, had skied high from the Americans. It was never touched by anyone from the Indians, so it's going to be face-off outside the zone. Face-off won by the Indians. Sent in deep, Mike Malloy. Malloy in front. He had two players over there. Both of them couldn't do anything with it, though. Touch forward for the Americans. Looking for some help. The wraparound goes back behind the boards. The Americans still with possession here with 38 seconds remaining in period number 2. Bounces off the boards. Shot there, goes wide. The Indians need to get it out. Cody Hollingsworth looking for some help. And they have some space now. Oh, good stick though from the Americans. Eric Walker keeps it in. Walker over to a teammate. Throwing it in front. Off the stick of Fredrickson, and they score, the Americans. Another one off a rebound. Fredrickson picked it out of the air, and it's 3-1 Americans.
The Americans continued their pressure, and the Indians don't have an answer right now. Coming into the zone, that looks like it got batted out of the air.
It was from Fredrickson. Another look at it here. You can see just whacking at it.
Nice play by Fredrickson there, and the Americans have a 2-goal lead, 3-1 over the Indians.
So Fredrickson with the goal for the Americans. And the final shot there of the second period, but with under a minute remaining, the Americans take a 2-goal lead. Fredrickson for the Americans gives a 3-1 lead and one more period to go here in this A-level championship, in the 2026 Ball Hockey Men's Club Championships here on Pittsburgh Sportsnet. Welcome back here on Pittsburgh Sportsnet. Sportsnet Pittsburgh, I should say. And it's a 3-1 lead for the Americans. I want to thank you for tuning in here. If you're just tuning in prior to the Pirates game falling to the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies sweeping the series. No sweeps in this one, though. The Pirates were shut out, but a goal in this championship here on this Sunday afternoon in Neville Island. 3-1 lead for the Americans. J.D. Dutney, Eric Walker, and Corey Fredrickson have all scored for the Americans. Riley Rudolph, the goal scorer for the Indians of Garden State out of New Jersey. Alongside of me, Angelo Esposito. I'm Spencer Witt. Third period underway here. And the final game of this 2026 USA Ball Hockey Club Championships. Who will go home with the trophy will be the team from the Garden State of New Jersey, or the team from Leominster, Massachusetts, the Americans. Throwing that one in front and hit off of something, but Mangini was there for it. The Americans with possession. They got to retreat and just keep it in. Good job to keep that one in, though, Eric Walker. Back behind the net, pressured. Loses the handle on it momentarily, taken away. Zach Warner-Sini for the Americans.
Good job by Sini getting his body in right there.
Battles for it. Faking the shot now. Throwing that one in front. Mangini got a piece of it. That was Drake Manning Almeida who took the shot. Looking for the back door. Mangini makes a save, diving over. And a little extracurriculars as well afterwards, but thrown over by Garden State. And the Indians just clear it out. They actually get possession offensively. A really good movement of that ball to get offensive possession.
Great job by Mangini getting over to make that save there.
He had to dive over to make it. It could be a huge save in this third period. Stopping and taking that shot. Deflected off a stick and goes into the netting and drops down. Garden State with it still. The Indians trying to move it forward. Shot taken, deflected. In front, couldn't find anything though. Got deflected back towards the corner, where the Americans will move forward with it. Ben Tolman. Back down low now is Colin McCole. McCole took a shoulder there into the boards.
Big hit there.
The Americans were offside, so they had to hold it for a second, and even doing so, give them an opportunity. And a save made.
Great save by Mangini there. The Indians still haven't found their game from that close first period. The Americans continue to shut them down, and that was the save that Mangini sprawled across to make.
They kept that stick down, and that was the reason for the save for Mangini.
It's like non-stop pressure by the Americans against this Garden State Indians team.
Now fighting for it near the boards. The Americans, it's deflected out though, and moved forward by the Indians, so they cycle it around. Only momentarily though, now they send it back down low for the Indians to get to it. Steve Sion was the one who was over there. They're gonna call icing on that one. It was close, but not able to get there in time, so the icing called against the Americans. 7 minutes remaining here in the A-level USA Ball Hockey Club Championship. The B-level, the Pittsburgh Purple Power defeating the Northside Militia in that one, a 4-3 final in that game. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Purple Power on their B-level championship. The A-level championship now taking place here. Gavin Ambrose. Ambrose gonna go down low and look for it, but teammate there instead anyway, which is Ryan Gallen. Gallen up top, shot taken, and a glove save made by Carter. Carter pulls that one in after hitting the chest. Now Garden State just looking for anything offensively, really to get going here. 2-goal difference with 6:45.
That's the one thing the Americans have done really, really well this game is shut down the Indians' cycle game and getting around Andrew Carter's crease. Indians have not been getting very close to the net. That's their specialty of how they score goals. They need to try and find it soon with just under 7 minutes left.
Flip down the length of the court. Joe Malelio, and back over to Luke Malloy. The Americans have possession though. Shot taken there, and a save made by Mangini. Jacob Landry was the one who took that shot for the Americans. So face-off in the zone now for Garden State. And the Americans here as this one rolls around the boards of the Americans out of Leominster, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. And across crease, and they score. Backdoor tap in for the Indians. It's 0-0. Evan Keefe, and we got a new ball game here with 6 remaining. Just on a 2-on-1 kind of breakaway there, just kind of odd man rush.
Not the style the Indians usually play, but like you just said, 2-on-1 odd man rush, pass across, right into the back of the net. And the Indians cut the lead in half. It's now 3-2.
It's 0-0, Evan Keefe. And that just made this game a whole lot more interesting now. That shot taken. Carter makes a stop. Behind the net now, in front. Nobody helping there for the Indians, but they keep a possession. Driving in, the backhand, shot taken and stopped by Carter.
Penalty on the play for a high stick.
Yeah, we got a penalty against the Americans. Not what they want right now. Momentum is swung in favor of the team from New Jersey.
And this is what the Indians needed. They needed a swing with just under 6 minutes. Going back to this play, quick backhander off of Carter. Went into the corner, and the penalty came right after that.
Yeah, you're going to see,
stick.
Saw Eric Walker in the corner of your screen. Going to be called for the penalty. Yeah, just a careless penalty there for the Americans.
Garden State's looking for their 2nd championship. And let's see if they can hopefully tie this game up and see where they can go from there.
The shot there. Missed Carter altogether and sent all the way back down for the Indians. So again, only a 90-second penalty here in this one. They got to get the zone. They do. And now they can set up their offense. That's kind of the thing about ball hockey. You kind of just take it over the blue line, bring it back, and just kind of work some space now because you got more room to work with. Dropping back. Mike Malloy. Malloy. That one in the slot. No good. It's Mike Henry who took the shot, but Carter makes the stop.
No screen there in front of Carter. If the Indians want to try and get this next goal tied at 3, that's what they're going to need. They need to screen Carter. Clear lane for Carter there. Gloved it up into his chest.
Indians came back down 2-1 against the Penn Hills Arsenal in the semifinal game. They scored with 40 seconds remaining in the 3rd period to tie it up, and then they took the victory in overtime. Might need a little magic here as well in this championship game. Sent forward, then right back out. Here comes some speed from the Americans and just having to get there. That's a really good play, Joe Malillo. Not easy to get there when you got a guy on your back like that. A little bad pass though, but kept in, only momentarily, now kept in again. They still haven't gotten the zone though, now they do. Now they have some space to work with here.
5 seconds.
Shot in front looking for the backdoor tap in, couldn't find him. And a turnover.
Miscommunication there.
And a guy just coming out of the box. It's Sini, he can't get the back of the net there on the backhand. And it goes out of play. But what an opportunity for the Americans. Zach Warner-Sini.
Tried to go back in there, couldn't tell if Mangini got a piece of it. It just looked like he just lifted it wide, and that's what he did.
So now a face-off.
That's a power play the Indians wish they could have capitalized on.
Had some opportunities the Indians did, but face-off won by the Americans. That shot taken. Saved by Mangini. Kept in by the Americans. And then now we're playing the clock game. 3:41 remaining. Thrown in front. Got a stick from an American. And now flip forward. Nick Carter has to play it, and he does. And good spacing now. Drake Manning Almeida. He just flicks it into the air. Nice touch there from Nick Carter. A lot of movement here from this American squad. Drake Manning Almeida will get to it. Turns, goes back around, turns. Trying to figure out what to do with it.
Good work by the Americans here.
That one thrown around the boards. The Indians got to get it out. They got to get it out. And they're struggling right now. Lifted into the air. There was just a change there, so a guy was right there for the Americans, and then they could try and move this forward. Turning with it, good stick work though. That's Ben Tolman.
Great work by Tolman there.
Not a bad pass
Americans
for the
keep
Indians.
it in.
Shot taken, Mangini with a save.
Great blocker save by Mangini.
Colin McCall on the shot. Cam Cordio. Cordio has a defender on him, but he'll take his time. Again, the seconds keep ticking down here. This American squad now in front, and wasn't able to pull the trigger for Cam Cordio. A stick blocking his lane.
You can really tell how the Americans are using their big frames.
Shot there and never got through.
Ooh.
Nothing called.
Nothing called there. Turnover. Americans still have it.
Losing the ball and then covered up by Mangini.
You can really tell how the Americans are using their big frames up against this Garden State Indians team. The Indians aren't even trying to hit or pressure the Americans. Even though that big hit was just there in the corner, when the Americans have the puck behind the net, Indian defenders are just standing away, not trying to hit them into the boards.
There's that collision into the boards there between the Americans and the Indians. And then you see the turnover and just covered up. Colin McCall wanted a penalty. They didn't get one though. And I believe we have a timeout taken instead. So the Indians taking a timeout. 1:41 remaining here in the third as we take a look at what we've seen so far here in this A-level championship game between the Indians and the Americans. As J.D. Dutney was the one who scored the first one for the Americans, Eric Walker scoring the second one, and Corey Fredrickson scoring the third.
Fredrickson's goal batted out of the air. His goal is the game-winning goal right now
At least
for the Americans.
As of now, but we were talking about that in the last game against Penn Hills.
Absolutely.
You take a look, there's the summary there. J.D. Dutney and Riley Rudolph was the one who tied it up. Eric Walker, Corey Fredrickson, but Evan Keith giving the Indians life. Make it a ball game, but just a one-goal difference now. And the Indians, you can't count them out just yet. They pulled their goalie last time, scored with 38 seconds remaining in the semifinals.
And they got to the crease.
Yep.
That's what's going to be, that's the goal for the Indians. Once they pull Mangini, get the puck, or get the ball, pardon me, get the ball, get down into the Americans' end, and get into those greasy spots around at Andrew Carter's net.
Thrown over and that one out of the zone, so it's going to be still on sides. He's able to get back. Indians wanted offsides. Now they get to the line, and here comes the goalie.
Going to the bench.
Empty net for the Indians. Thrown in front, bounced off a couple players.
Good keep there by the Indians along the boards.
Still behind the net now. The Indians with an extra attacker. And the final minute here in the A-Level Ball Hockey Club Championship. Shot taken, that one deflected. Bouncing, and it goes out of play.
I think the face-off is going to be in the American zone.
Yes, it will be.
With the defenseman hitting it out of play by the Americans.
So we'll have this face-off down low.
The Indians game is cycling it and looking with traffic in front of the net. Let's see if they can continue that game with the empty net.
Flicked into the air, it's gonna be icing. So icing, and we'll just do it again. Took off a couple seconds off the clock. 47 seconds remaining. The Indians need to work some magic. This one thrown in front. Second chance opportunity, still bouncing around at the feet, still at the feet, and then it goes back. There were a couple players for the Indians that had opportunities. Now behind the net.
30 seconds.
Jab that in front, 30 seconds remaining.
Icing.
And that's gonna be icing as it goes all the way down. Clock will stop at 25.6. We'll take a look real quick. This was the goal that the Indians scored last time against the Penn Hills Arsenal. Again, what a play there just to keep it in the zone for the Indians, and it just rolls in. It hits off of a stick of an Arsenal player that was lying on the floor. Rolled 5-hole. What a break for the Indians as we have another timeout, I believe, here.
Timeout by the Americans.
Yeah, timeout from the Americans here. This was the opportunities that the Indians had. So, real quick, well, we have a little bit of time. Just want to thank you so much for tuning in all afternoon and evening long here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. We're on S&P Plus for a couple of games earlier on. We've seen some incredible games all throughout today. We've been on the USA Ball Hockey YouTube channel as well. Fantastic weekend here for ball hockey at Neville Island. The Island's sports complex, home of ice hockey. Robert Morris men's and women's D1 ice hockey teams as well play here. Seen a lot of roller hockey, deck hockey. Seen some club level ice hockey as well. Every type of hockey that can be played is played here at this complex. Beautiful weekend for it, weather-wise too. And we're looking for an exciting one to end things. 25 seconds remaining. Face-off is won by the Indians, kept in, and they got to do something with it. They go to the right side now. Back out, Benziali, and they'll get it back to him.
They got to get a shot on that.
That shot, they score!
Wow.
A goal scored! Ian Basilio, we got a tie ball game, 10 seconds remaining in the championship. Oh my goodness.
I was not expecting that. That what a one-timer. I don't even think Carter saw that. Came across right over his blocker and his shoulder.
Could not have put that in a more perfect place. Ian Basilio.
Wow.
Has tied this ball game up. Incredible. Now another opportunity. That shot bounces off the wall. Trickles behind the net. There's still 5 seconds remaining. Can the Indians have one more shot here? At the front, the shot was deflected by a defender in front. That was almost the game winner. But instead, we're going to overtime in the men's A-Level Ball Hockey Club Championship game. We'll step aside real quick. Ian Basilio, more magic for the Indians late in the third. They did it in the semis. They do it in the final. Can they win here, or the Americans take it here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh? Welcome back here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. This was the overtime winner for the Garden State Indians in their first game. Connor Callahan had scored it. This is the second time. That first time was against the Iowa team, and then this time against the Penn Hills Arsenal. Leonardo Impagliazzo scoring the overtime winner to put themselves into the final. The comeback kids, I mean, they just incredible stuff here from this Garden State squad. And what they have done in this tournament, have never counted themselves out. Not until that final whistle blows. And even then, it's been in favor of the Indians this entire Sunday. Ryan Gallen was the one who got the overtime as an opportunity, the assist on it, is almost an opportunity for the Indians. Now a break for the Americans. Can the Americans respond themselves and win the championship, or will it go to the Indians? And we got a touch up here.
Injured player on the Americans.
There was a player that was slow to get up for the Americans.
J.D. Dutney.
Dutney had scored the first goal in this one. And there is Andrew Carter. Just a perfectly placed goal from Ian Basilio.
Indians want to continue that pressure carrying over from that end of the third. Let's see what they can do.
Now the wraparound, that one hits the post. It goes in!
Callahan.
Connor Callahan wins the championship for the Garden State Indians. In overtime. 3 straight overtime winners from the team from New Jersey.
I'm speechless.
What a play from Garden State. The last overtime went several minutes in. This one only just a handful of seconds in.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Now the Garden State Indians, Ball Hockey Club Championship winners, taking their look.
Work around the net, just bounced off, I think, an American defender, with Callahan picking up that ball right out in front and lifting it past Carter for the game-winning goal. The 3rd straight overtime winning goal for the Garden State Indians.
Callahan climbs the boards there, and the look of defeat from the Americans. They had a 2-goal lead going into the 3rd, but it was goals from the Indians. 3 straight unanswered goals. Evan Keefe, Ian Basilio with under a minute remaining, and finally for the Indians, Connor Callahan. And the Indians are the champions of Level A club ball hockey here at Neville Island. We'll step aside real quick. We come back. We'll discuss this chaotic ending in a chaotic Sunday afternoon here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Welcome back here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Garden State Indians take the Level A Men's Ball Hockey Club Championship here at the Neville Island, RMU Island Sports Complex. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here in this one. And you know, it was the Americans to start things here, Angelo, and just they played a lot better in the first period, but I think you kind of saw shades of life in the second for Garden State, and then in the third, it became them.
Definitely was, definitely was. I mean, J.D. Dutney with the opening goal for the Americans, Riley Rudolph with the opening goal for the Indians, and then the Americans quickly responded. What a save by Mangini there, but Eric Walker made it a 2-1 game. Then coming back into the American zone, Andrew Carter with a big save there, and the Americans continued the pressure. The Americans really owned, like, the whole two first periods.
That was the goal from Fredrickson there. You see whacking out of the air. We thought that might have been the game winner potentially, but Mangini made some nice saves.
Mangini kept them in the game, and that made it 3-2 Americans. The Indians scored Evan Keefe on that goal.
That's the goal that gave them life, real quick.
Tying goal with 10 seconds left.
The goal that gave them life is Evan Keefe, and then you see there Ian Basilio getting the game tying goal with 10 seconds left, and then here it is here, Connor Callahan just whacking at it when it was thrown at the net. We talked about it in the last game against Penn Hills Arsenal. Throw the ball at the net. Good things have been happening for them.
And now is their specialty, getting in those greasy areas, getting around Andrew Carter's goal net, and that's exactly what Connor Callahan did.
And so the second time in their team history, the Garden State Indians are ball hockey champions, club hockey level. And real quick, we just want to thank everyone here for tuning in for our entire broadcasting crew throughout this entirety of it. Our producer, Dylan McKenna, our director, Matt Simkovic, Nate Fennell on graphics, Kara Runyon on audio, Cam Macariola on replay, and our camera operators who had to deal with the heat throughout this one. A hot day here in the Island Sports Complex. Damon McDermott, Luke Yost, Zach Jones, Mike Evans, and alongside of me, Angelo Esposito. I'm Spencer Witt saying so long and thank you so much for tuning in here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Final score, the Garden State Indians defeat the Leominster Americans by a score of 4-3 in overtime and are club level A ball hockey champions. Good night, everybody.